The hype surrounding AI, particularly in the business world, and most especially when it comes to marketing, is absolutely out of control. It's so nutty right now that it can be very difficult to tell reality from the hype. So, even though AI obviously represents a potential opportunity to get ahead, it can be very difficult to separate the signal from the noise to find the real value under all the overhyped nonsense. I spent a lot of time studying AI and its uses in marketing and business automation, and I've spent the last weeks and months experimenting with all of the emerging AI tools and apps. And I can tell you for certain that if you're not upskilling into AI right now, you're absolutely going to be left behind, not in the years to come, but in the months to come. But which platforms hold the keys to your growth and success, and which ones are just a waste of your time, money, and resources? See, that's a very tough question to answer. Fortunately, that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to give you a 30,000-foot view of some of the hottest AI-powered tools in the market today, and my takes on how each of these tools can improve your workflow and give you superhuman abilities when it comes to research, marketing, creative design, productivity, and many other areas of life and business. When we talk about AI platforms today, most of the time we're talking about ChatGPT, produced by OpenAI, which is the fastest growing company and product of all time. Basically, it gives you access to the entire internet in the form of a very articulate bot that can instantly provide an encyclopedic array of information on essentially any topic. You work with ChatGPT through a text box and a screen that outputs a response. You prompt, ChatGPT responds, and the quality of the prompt more or less determines the quality of the output. ChatGPT is a so-so writer and terrible at reading the room, but it's very, very good at research and planning if you know how to prompt it correctly. But first, you have to sign up for the paid version of ChatGPT 4.0, to get access to all of the features that I'm going to talk about. This costs about $20 a month for an individual account, or $25 a month for members in a team. Once you've signed up, you can use the ChatGPT chat interface on an almost unlimited basis, except for a few caps on things like image generation that you'll only rarely run into. By itself, ChatGPT practically gives you superpowers in any area of your life or work that is either based in text, such as research, reading, writing, and so on, or run via computers and automation. So anything digital or programmatic, meaning accessible through a computer system. That includes a lot of things, from content creation to accounting, data processing to visualization, and managing all kinds of repetitive business processes, and much more. The trick with ChatGPT, the skill that separates the average user from a power user, lies in your ability to engineer effective prompts, your instructions to ChatGPT, that generate the results that you need to get reliably and quickly. ChatGPT can be a little temperamental at times, and without the right prompt, also tends to talk to you like you're a 5-year-old by default, providing you only very high-level and mostly useless responses to any question. The best way to craft an effective prompt every time is to use a prompt framework, such as the RICE framework. RICE stands for Role, Instructions, Context, Constraints, and Examples. And your prompt should always address each of these points to ensure the best possible response. This is what a typical response looks like when I ask ChatGPT to create an outline for an article about using ChatGPT for market research. You can see it's fairly generic and presents only high-level information. This wouldn't be good enough to use in any real-world situation. Now, if I use the RICE framework to craft my prompt, it might look something like this. ChatGPT's response to this prompt is much more detailed and useful, and might actually serve as an outline for a real article. Taking the time to write your prompt using the RICE framework will actually save you time in the long run, because you'll consistently generate better results in just 1 or 2 prompts instead of getting frustrated with ChatGPT and spending a lot of time there. Beyond the basics, you can extend ChatGPT's functionality dramatically with their library of plugins, such as Scholar GPT, DALL-E, and Grimoire. For example, the DALL-E plugin allows you to create images from text prompts, and Scholar GPT allows you to search journal papers like scientific research papers and find various things to cite in support of your arguments. Zapier allows you to connect to essentially everything. Right out of the box, ChatGPT will tell you that it's limited to information that existed prior to April 2023, and that it can't go searching on the internet for new information. Well, it's not entirely true, because it will actually search on Bing. It will hassle you about it and pretends like it doesn't have that capability. But with the use of the browsing or web pilot plugins, you can extend that functionality to be able to browse the web, search things, look at pages on the web, and interact with the content on them. And with a plugin called Diagrams, You can feed it tables of data that you've been working with in ChatGPT and have it create basically any kind of visualization that you can imagine. And even more incredible, with the Grimoire plugin, you can have ChatGPT actually code for you in the Python programming language. So you can build websites, you can build apps, and you can learn how to code, or you can actually have it write the code for you, either way. So between ChatGPT's basic capabilities and the large library of plugins that it can tap into, as well as custom GPTs and other ways to extend the functionality, there is essentially no limit to what you can do with ChatGPT. And that's why it's probably one of the most exciting innovations in the AI space, or just in terms of technology in general, in our lifetimes and maybe ever. Generative AI tools are becoming popular very quickly because 56% of people surveyed reported that they enjoyed seeing AI-generated art, even though only 27% of people in a similar survey reported that they had been exposed to AI art so far. Clearly, a greater percentage of people are seeing AI-generated images than are aware of what they're seeing. But this tells us that AI art is good enough to be put to use in professional scenarios, as long as you have a keen editorial eye. As we've all seen recently with the Kate Middleton debacle, it can be very easy to overlook flaws in edited and AI-generated images at first, but people, your customers, your audience, etc., will tend to spot the fakes and call them out soon enough. For practical purposes, generative AI art can be perfectly suitable for use in certain kinds of social media images, in blog posts, and other content. It's also useful for mocking up images and finding inspiration for human-made art. Some of the most popular generative AI art platforms include Midjourney, which you access through a Discord bot, which is a little strange, but you get used to it. And it means that everybody is in sort of a public room together, posting their prompts and receiving their images so you can learn from what everybody around you is doing as well. And there's DALL-E, which is now bundled into ChatGPT, so you can just talk to ChatGPT and ask it to generate an image for you, an image in response. And also Canva has an AI now, which is bundled into Canva Pro, that allows you to kind of tell it what sort of image you're trying to create, and it'll generate templates that you can use as a starting point. And they also have a somewhat decent just text to image generative AI prompt as well. And very similar to that, but I think superior, is Adobe's Firefly, which is just another text to image generative AI art platform, but it's bundled into Adobe's Creative Suite. So if you're already paying for that, then you get that for free. And there are many others. There are so many others actually right now that the market is pretty heavily oversaturated. AI is all around us, and it's taking over commercial creative spaces in particular. Obviously, as professionals, we have to learn how to work with AI as a tool, or we're going to get left behind. But again, the quality of the output of any of these AI systems depends most on how well we craft our prompt. For example, one of the best techniques that I've learned is when I'm working with a generative AI art platform is to first work in ChatGPT to create a very detailed prompt, which then I can paste into Midjourney or DALL-E and so on. So I have a basic idea of what I want, and I tell that to ChatGPT, and it helps me refine that so that very quickly I can generate a better response from the next platform that I'm using. There are so many little tools and apps, small additions that you can add to your life and your workflow, which integrate AI in big or small ways. And though each one of them may be a small addition, overall, they're revolutionizing your day-to-day life. And over time, we can expect these small improvements to scale. Here are some additional examples of AI tools that can already make a difference in your day-to-day life, that are actually worth the money and the hassle of learning a new system. Some of the most popular of these include Grammarly, a popular writing aid, which is AI helping you create better written content. And what it does is Grammarly will make suggestions as you write to help you sound more professional, much like how we've already learned to use spell check in all of our writing tools. There's another tool called Looko, which is a logo generator with various color palettes and other tools that allow you to easily generate a brand in literally seconds. You can create your logo from clip art and then customize the colors and change the styles in such a way as to make it look unique very quickly, and then output that brand as a logo. And you can easily upgrade that into a complete brand kit or even a package with a website and printed materials and everything else that you might need included. In the world of the written word, there are a couple of tools in particular that are very popular for generating copywriting called Jasper.ai and Copy.ai. Now, you can just use ChatGPT to create your content, but a lot of people are choosing to use these two systems because they're particularly good at writing, where ChatGPT is only so-so. This is useful because copywriting, particularly for SEO content, for example, isn't something that most people find easy or enjoyable. But there is an enormous appetite for content in the world today. Now, we do have to be careful about using AI-generated content on websites and in social media copy because those platforms are well aware of AI content and they're already fighting the rise of generated content in their timelines and their feeds and so forth. And Google in particular is already making moves to penalize AI content in search results. But there are a lot of ways that you can safely use AI to create content, and especially to research and plan content that will not draw the ire of the big platforms. These two tools are the best-in-class options that basically everyone is using to create human-sounding copy automatically and at scale, Copy.ai and Jasper.ai. And there's a tool called Spin Rewriter, which is used for article spinning, as in repurposing one article into many. So when you're creating content for multiple blogging platforms all at the same time, or you're going to be posting multiple times on the same subject for SEO purposes, doing so manually implies spending a lot of time just rewriting the same content. That's not much fun. Spin Rewriter allows you to turn one original article into many copied or spun articles, which just paraphrase your original content. Like the other AI-generated writing tools, there are some inherent risks in using a tool like this, but it makes a crazy amount of sense when SEO isn't your primary concern. LinkedIn, Medium, and Substack articles, for example, spun off an original article on your blog, could be a very effective strategy for getting your content out in front of more eyes, regardless of SEO. Runway is a generative AI social media and video suite that is visually very impressive. It's just another generative AI platform like Midjourney or DALL-E, except that it's also something of a video editing suite with lots of tools and practical applications. The platform comes with a variety of tools for specialized activities, such as a text-to-image generator and an image-to-image converter, or restyler, might be a better way to say that, for making one image look like another image on the fly, as well as a tool for expanding images and also removing any object from an image seamlessly. And most impressively, Runway's Gen 2 tools can generate high-definition videos from text prompts, much like the much-lauded Sora from OpenAI. As of right now, all of these features produce short content, so at this time, the platform is most useful for creating engaging content to share on social media. Another tool, GetMunch, is for repurposing long-form video into snackable short-form video automatically. If you're creating long-form video content, anything over a few minutes, for platforms like YouTube, then you should be repurposing that content for YouTube Shorts, Instagram and Facebook Reels, TikTok videos, and so on. It's an easy way to get a lot more views and exposure on the content that you're already producing. Of course, if you were to try and repurpose your videos manually, it would take way too long, and nobody has time for that. Fortunately, though, that's not necessary, because tools like GetMunch and others will automatically create clips from your horizontally oriented YouTube videos in 9:16 vertical format for these other platforms. And it's not doing this randomly, it's doing this intelligently. The AI looks for the most engaging moments of the video, trims it accordingly, and then puts the captions over the vocal tracks and exports it to all of the relevant platforms, all of which it does automatically. And the last tool I'm going to talk about is BeHuman.ai, which is a spooky video sales bot that deepfakes you. And I know, this just sounds unbelievably creepy. It kind of is. But then again, the future is always a little scary at first. Regardless, BeHuman.ai is a system that you upload videos of yourself into so that it can learn how to create a deepfake of you, and then you can use the platform to create personalized video content automatically. Imagine someone signing up for a free offer on your website, and then only a few minutes later receiving an email from you with a personalized message using their name and other details that they've just provided you via a form. Or creating a bunch of sales outreach emails that include a personal greeting to each client by name automatically. Now, I know this is all very exciting, but try to keep in mind, the AI tools that I've mentioned in this video are all best in class, and I think they're worth the time that it takes to learn and experiment with each platform. But the larger world of AI tools is filled with a lot of hype that doesn't necessarily translate into real meaningful value. Yes, it's true. The AI transformation is already here, is already underway. But the reality is that trying to embrace all this new technology without skepticism will just lead to lost time and wasted resources. But upskilling yourself in expertise with ChatGPT, for example, is unlikely to be such a waste. In fact, this might be the most meaningful thing that you can do to improve your skill set and your situation and your life today. If you enjoyed this update, please show the video some love wherever you're watching this, and know that I'm putting out a lot more content like this all the time on my website, nathanbenford.com, and on my YouTube channel. So you can head over there to subscribe so that you never have to miss one of my helpful videos or articles. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.